tiny pieces of a perplexing puzzle. And in every single one of them are genetic clues, clues that may solve a question that has haunted parents and baffled researchers for decades. The hunt is on to find the answer and the missing piece of the puzzle that could unlock the mystery of autism.
The question we're asked most often, why does autism come about in my family? Our primary reason for doing this massive project is to provide information and answers to the families of why.
Five-year-old Lucia doesn't know it yet, but a small sample of her blood will soon be part of a groundbreaking study at Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children. Lucia was 18 months old when she was diagnosed with autism, a neurological disorder that affects 1 in 68 children in Canada. Her diagnosis was based on what doctors could only observe, including delays in her speech and her difficulty relating to others.
How much did you beat yourself up wondering what the cause was?
A lot. You start looking back, you know, we were very good during my pregnancy with her. Everything was healthy, home-cooked meals, very active, no drinking, no smoking. You do everything you can to make things perfect. You want your child to be perfect. So it's a little worrisome if you think that you did something wrong.
Lucia's diagnosis explains what makes her different, but it doesn't explain why. And that's why her parents, Matthew and Jessica Perusco, are here.
I'll be honest, I still recently just started accepting her diagnosis. And, you know, I mean, I've worked to help her since the beginning, but just to really let that sink in, it's extremely painful.
Okay, Miss.
Autism can be hereditary, but it doesn't run in either of their families. So to find out what caused the disorder in Lucia, all three are giving blood.
Just a tight band, okay? Hug on your arm. Just gonna have a look, okay?
From these vials, their entire DNA will be mapped or sequenced and become part of the world's largest attempt to crack the code of autism.
Okay. Look how neat it is. Look how nice it is. Nice. I know, not impressing, girl.
You want to count? 5.
Band is up. There we go.
The project is called Missing, and as the name suggests, it's just that, finding the missing piece of the autism puzzle. Scientists have long known genetics play a role in autism, but the exploding numbers of the disorder have triggered the drive to find precisely which genes are at play, which glitches cause it. The goal for Missing is big, bold, and has never been done before. Map the DNA of 10,000 families affected by autism, hoping to find the answer. Dr. Stephen Scher is the geneticist leading what he calls his dream project.
But to really fully understand any condition like autism, you have to be able to look at all of the genes. So that was my dream experiment, to look at all of the genes in every individual who had autism and try to use those clues to figure out what was involved in autism. So how's it going? In my experience, this is indeed the most exciting time in autism research because it's much easier to make a discovery when you're seeing information for the first time. I think we've missed a lot of things because we didn't have all the data in front of us before.
Until recently, it was just too expensive to even dream of a genetic experiment of this scale. But gene mapping, or whole genome sequencing, has dramatically dropped in price. The technique allows the team at SickKids to read every one of the 6 billion letters that comprise an individual's genetic code, so they can spot mutations or genetic typos associated with autism. Or as Dr. Scher has already discovered, the many, many kinds of autisms.
What we already now know, based on the preliminary data, is that there's over 100 different forms of autism. Okay, so we have to kind of put all these little pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together. I would say right now we've got the outside of the puzzle. We're pretty good, but we've got all the pieces now. We just have to figure out how they piece together.
Don't need to take it.
There wasn't much genetic information available when 14-year-old Zayn Ahmed was born. Nothing to help understand why running aimlessly through his neighborhood is soothing to him. Nothing to understand the often closed workings of his uniquely complicated mind.
Autism usually makes a lot of people unique, different from other people.
And how do you feel about being unique that way?
I'm relatively chill with it.
And do you ever wonder why you are, say, more unique or different from your brother and sister?
No. So, does it? Next question?
No, I think we're done.
Yeah, and I'm done.
You did a great job.
It's gonna rain. No, I don't think it's gonna rain. Let's go, bud.
But his parents, like so many others, never simply accepted the diagnosis he was given at age 3.
Say, what do you think those are?
I know that.
All these years, it's gnawed at Selena and Razi Ahmed. Did they pass it on? Did they do something to cause it? Were they ultimately responsible? That's why they enrolled in the Missing Project.
Where did it come from? You hear about all the different environmental issues, or is it attributed to something in the diet, like hormones, steroids? Is it medication? We know the debunked myth about the vaccinations. I mean, that's never been a concern for me. But just understanding what, where, how, why.
Zayn's DNA, along with his parents and siblings, was assessed for every tiny genetic variance that could help explain why. And when they finally got the answer, they also got a form of absolution.
What came back?
The mutation was not found in Razi or I. So with Zayn, it was found on the 11th chromosome pair.
So was it a spontaneous mutation?
It was a spontaneous mutation, and basically it was on the Caprin-1 gene. What do you think?
Potato wedges and a donut.
In other words,
good.
the smoking gun in their case was a case of bad genetic luck.
Zayn, hang on 1 second. What do you need to wait for?
For Zayn, that makes buying a donut an exercise in independence.
May I have some potato wedges and a chocolate dip donut?
How much do you think you need?
The information changed everything, and yet changed nothing.
485 is your change, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it'll be ready on this side for you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
There's two parts to the autism spectrum in this kind of research. There's the researchers doing what they can in hard science, and then there's the day-to-day reality of how we live with Zayn and how we raise him and what we have to do to make him independent. Those are very separate things, right? So, I mean, for me, it's the day-to-day.
You always have to do things your own way, don't you?
Let me just tell you a little bit about RAB39B. So the first is the nonsense mutation located on the tip of
the day-to-day may seem so removed from all this science, all those bits of DNA data streaming in.
What do you think's happening?
We have a gene here that's
But everyone in this room who is involved in the Missing Project knows the incredible potential of discovery it holds.
Yes.
Especially Matt Pletcher.
Matt with 1 T, yes.
He's with Autism Speaks. The advocacy group is financing the $50 million project, the largest of its kind in the world.
How massive is this project?
So when you think about the size of the data set that we're storing and making available to researchers, it's the equivalent of the amount of data necessary to watch a high-definition video for 13 and a half years.
In other words, way too much information for a single team of researchers to watch, let alone analyze. And that led to an unusual partnership with Google. The tech giant is storing the data in a research platform in Google Cloud and providing a search engine to researchers worldwide. It's a pioneering step in open science and a game changer in the search for answers.
Whenever you're talking about something with the complexity of autism, you're not going to solve it with a single investigator sitting by themselves in an isolated place. That the best chance we have of really maximizing the utility of this data that we're making available is to use the collective wisdom of all of the researchers around the world.
The scientific strides, the dreamed experiments, however academic now, they do represent a step forward for millions of Canadians living with the disorder.
Today we're here walking for my son Preston, who has autism. He is on the spectrum, so we're out as a family today and we're walking for him.
At Toronto's annual Walk for Autism, families gather to raise awareness and to find comfort in their shared realities. Many echo a common refrain, knowing why would provide some comfort too.
It would help me, it'd probably give me a little bit of peace of mind, knowing that I can do something to help him if there is something that I can do to help him.
It helps you to get past any sort of guilt that might come along with it and just get you working on, okay, what do I do now to make things better or easier for them?
We've now studied 7,000 individuals. It's the largest project of its kind in the world. So congratulations to you. We couldn't do it without you. And our goal of the project...
The hope is to hit the 10,000 target by the end of the year. And Dr. Scherer believes tangible change will come. Better ways to diagnose autism sooner, even before birth, and treatments tailored to specific types of the disorder.
We want to be able to enable early identification, which is critical for early interventions, which helps the children develop. And then equally important is to identify new targets, to identify rational drug designs. There's no medicines that actually can be used effectively for the core features of autism.
Do you want bubbles? What do I need to do?
Bubbles.
Bubbles and? Blow.
Blow.
Good.
Understanding Lucia now can be a challenge. She gets a lot of behavioral therapy. It's the main form of proven therapy for kids with autism.
And what is it?
Egg.
Ball. What is it?
Ball.
Nice job.
It helps develop her language
Which one do you want?
Yes.
and build connections to the world around her.
What is it?
Fish.
Fish. Good stuff.
Every small gain defies the limits of a diagnosis her mother still struggles to accept.
Good job.
The second you hear that diagnosis, it becomes that label. It becomes everything that just goes with it. The people staring, the not understanding, what is school going to be like? Is she going to be able to do extracurricular? Everything just comes to a halt, and you actually have to grieve that moment of, or not even the moment, the life that you had envisioned for her. It just completely changes. Can we do walk, walk, walk again? Look, walk, 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 walk. What are they doing?
Lucia's family doesn't have her full genetic picture yet, but taking part in the Missing Project is all about diving deeper into the unknown, and this time, finding hope in it.
What sound does the horsey make? That's right. To know why she is the way she is, it doesn't change much, but it helps the fight of being able to find out what we can do next. How do we get her the help? How do we get her to that next level so she can be an independent, adult in the future? That is what's important.
A future that begins with knowing why, and knowing that one elusive puzzle piece may be made up of all those billions of genetic clues Lucia and others like her are providing researchers, one tiny piece at a time. Joanna Brumiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.